What is going on, everybody? I hope everyone had a great weekend and had just as good of a weekend as me because the Miami Dolphins have got their fourth win in Madrid. And I was actually just traveling and I got to go to the Madrid stadium that the Miami Dolphins got their fourth win in. So feeling good over here in the Maverick side. Also started the brand new week off with a bag. And there's no better way to start the week off with a bag. I also love to start my week off with the weekly watch list. So let's get this thing going. For those of you guys that are new here, I do this every single Monday morning with my community at 8:30 a.m. Eastern in the Stock Mavericks community under simplertrading.com. So if you go to the Simpler Trading website and you want to check this out live before the market comes out, and you can tag bags with us live, go check us out on the Simpler Trading website under Stock Mavericks. There's a $7 monthly trial. I mean, you can make that $7 back within seconds. But let's dive in and let's talk about what I got for the week and possible opportunities to make some money. Now, if you are new here and you've never seen a weekly watch list with Mike, I highly recommend you not to go out and buy all these stocks. I always say this is a newspaper that can actually make you money. You want to start your Monday off with a reading article that can make you money. Well, this would be the spot you started off at. And that's with small cap penny stocks and large cap stocks. So if I do anything that creates an opportunity for me, I'm going to go after it. Now, there is one red flag to start the week, and that's the overall market. We've been very, very toppy lately. The QQQ and SPY hit all-time highs 3 weeks ago when FOMC was about to be released. But since that moment, we've got topsy-turvy, and things have been getting really shaky the past week. So in last week, I pulled back a little bit, stayed a little patient. We were still green in the Mavericks room, but not as green as we usually like. So that's okay. And I want everyone to realize that is okay. Trading is not all about huge green weeks every single week. It's about managing your money and also your mind. And you can drive yourself crazy if you think you're going to have a really, really positive green week in a week when there's really nothing there. So that was really last week. We stayed green, stayed level headed. This week, let's see if we can make money off of one of these possible stocks here. And I always like to read my weekly watch list with sectors first, listed stocks next, options, and then OTC stocks. So all types of stocks, like I said, that you have the opportunity to make money off of, no matter what style of trader you are, as long as we have the right risk level and the pattern lining up, I'm going to go after it. So let's start off with some quantum stocks, and that quantum stock is QUBT. I usually like to go over these before the markets open because obviously now you have all these movers. But on YouTube, that's the one negative thing you guys get. You're getting a slight delay of this watch list. But that doesn't mean that you can't take advantage of stuff because we still have 3 days until Friday coming up. So there's tons of opportunity here. QUBT was my number one watcher in the quantum sector because it hit 950, which was the gap down fill, and then it took off. Also came out with earnings after the bell on Friday and took off even more. So if this continues to squeeze, I do think we might be able to get some more out of other quantum stocks. And the top two I'm watching is LAES, which is trying to double bottom off this 450 spot right here. Let's see if we can continue to hold and bounce. And then the last spot for a possible bounce would be BTQ, which is already starting a small first green day. And this is the former OTC stock that turned listed. So this used to be BTQQF. And it's one of the few great stories that an OTC stock can become listed. But look, it's back down to $5. And if you open up BTQQF, the last levels of support was like 450 level. So it's kind of coming right down to those levels. And we're seeing if we could bounce. So this is a decent first green day watcher. It's a former OTC squeezer we've made tons of money off of. Now let's make some money on the listed market. We actually played the stock when it became OTC2 listed and it gapped up pretty big. And it looks like it's got some news this morning. So BTQ has got to be top on the watch list when it starts on Money Monday. The other quantum ones, nothing I'm really licking my chops with. Those other ones are my top, BTQ and LAES. But here's another group of other ones that look pretty decent. RGTI and IONQ trying to bounce. And then we have QSI that's dropped really far from $3 back to $120. We have QBTS 46 back to 22. We have QMCO. And this one's a little more e-liquid. And then the OTC is QNCCF. So we'll keep an eye on the quantum sector, but I'm not really going to jump the gun unless QUBT holds up and pushes. BTQ and LAES are my top two. Getting into listed stocks just means they don't have any momentum. They could have news. News usually helps a listed stock, but that doesn't make it any sector momentum or anything. Beyond was the start of the week. We actually made some money buying this at 107 and selling, or 108. We got it after hours yesterday, selling it early in the morning at 114, right at the bell. So nice little start, small gap up to start the day, as well as Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. So nice bags to start the day. But that's going to be our first watcher and beyond. Honestly, if we keep holding 105, that's a possible squeezer. But if we drop below 105 and then 95, the next big spot is 76. And that's the gap down fill. And I think we can get a big bounce off of that if we do come down to that. So keep your eyes there. SOUN is a larger listed AI stock. You can actually put this in the option round too. So I could have put it down here too. But SOUN, possible first green day. 11:30 is the gap down. So I would like it to come down 1 or 2 more days to that 11:30 spot and then push up. CYPH. Congratulations to anybody that took advantage of that third green day surge on Thursday to Friday, because it jumped from 170 up to 360, 100% gainer in one day. At this point, I'm looking for one more squeeze above 358, and then I think I'm going to short it. I have it for a multi-month breakout because we're coming up to those levels, but I think it's too high for me to buy up here, so I think I might try to look to short. Listed ABAT is a battery stock that's just fallen from 1140 to 3. Shows you how strong the market was recently, and I think could get back to soon. So just be aware of how big these drops are, and we look to possibly create the first green day that usually follows up. So that's what I'm looking for in this one. And then the last two I have, GoRV. This is more of a sketchier one. Lighter volume. It's more one of those bankrupt stocks. Usually a bankrupt stock can go crazy if it gets volume or news. You could see GoRV already hit $3 after earnings, but it came right back down. So I got a lot of alerts set up. This is really more one to just be a little more patient, not instantly jump the gun, but let's stay patient if the volume comes in, because right now there's no volume at all, and it keeps holding $1. That's going to be a good spot to watch. And then the last one I put on there was GNS, because GNS had news after hours on Friday. It had news that they were actually winning the lawsuit against Citadel, and it caused a big first green day spike from 86 all the way up to 150. Now, if you did play that first green day, that would have been ideal, obviously. But I don't love to play Bitcoins over the weekend. If it wasn't over the weekend, maybe I would have played it. It has $50 million in volume now. So the volume has completely turned up. I love the fact that we're coming down and we're filling the gap, because that makes me think we can turn around. So I'm going to have some alerts at the turnaround levels, 93. And we'll put some at like 92. And we'll see if this thing can curl back up. I do think it has the chance. You know, there's a lot of resistance that is ahead, so we do have to be aware. But this takes a couple more buyers to turn this thing back around, and then you get a possible short squeeze, and it was just at 150. So always a good one to watch. Getting into options now, I only put one stock on the option chain because it's been a top watcher now for me for 2 weeks. It's been boiling right at that 52-week breakout. It got rejected last week right at that spot and came right back down. But look what it held on Monday when the market dipped. That also great spot of 267. So 267 and 277. We're in a $10 range here, and we're gonna try to get this buy close to here, sell hopefully on the breakout, or we just buy breakout levels and we hope that it continues. So those are the two possibilities there. The next couple of stocks I have are OTC stocks, and I divided the OTC stocks into two. It starts with grayscale stocks, because grayscale stock have been going nuts, and I think it's because of ZCSH. This is a grayscale Bitcoin stock. So grayscale stocks are just Bitcoin stocks that represent whatever coin they are. This is Zcash's coin, and it's been going absolutely nuts since October, pretty much. Spiking from 4 to 55. It's still holding up. A possible breakout is near, I think, because shorts are definitely all over it. Now, depending on what Bitcoin does, because Bitcoin is weak, the markets are still weak, I might try to change my odds and maybe go short on Zcash. But for now, as long as it holds up, I think the shorts are getting screwed, and there's a better chance at a big short squeeze. So that would be the next thing we're looking at is a Zcash short squeeze. And if it does, you have 8gen that started up that could possibly bounce again. You have GBAT that has no volume at all, but it's randomly getting a huge day. And then you have the other grayscales, LTCN and BCHG, that I always like to watch, that started up a little bit last week but came back down. But always good ones to pay attention to if grayscale gets started would be these two, BCHG and LTCN. And there's more out there. I'm just bringing up the couple that I'm watching right now. This one's trying to create that first green day. And then finishing it off with just OTC stocks. LDDFF is a really good watcher for a first green day. Look at the huge days it has in the past. It recently just started. I love OTC stocks that just start. That means they don't have a lot of history, but if the history shows a lot of gap ups, that's all we need. Usually this got a spike off of news this morning. Usually, though, I'm going to wait till late in the day. I'm not going to buy this right away. So it has super light volume. I'm not going to be the one to buy right here. But if we keep holding 225, we have a clear support. And if we break back above 245, we have a clear resistance. So as long as these two levels are holding by the end of Monday, this could be a little bonus for everybody. And then this is at $1 million in volume. I'll probably go after this one. So LDDFF, hopefully you can tag this bag with us. UURAF is a metal stock that usually follows up, but only when metals goes, so we'll keep an eye on that. Another metals one, REINF and TMRC. These ones usually only go when metals go, but TMRC is getting by $1 now. We're like right at that dollar spot, so we'll see what happens. Volume is super light in those. And then last but certainly not least, I think Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are due for a first green day, but I want to panic first. So we started the week making money off of these, buying and selling here. But they're coming back down, and I think after the ugly day they had on Friday and Thursday, there's a chance they come back to these long-term support levels. FNMA being 740 or 730, and FMCC being 620. So two key levels I think that we should watch as we get the week going. But all of these stocks, remember, create this with a grain of salt. Set up your alerts when you do make these watch lists. And if we are able to make money off of one of these plays this week, I would say this whole weekly watch list is worth it. So if you enjoyed this, click that subscribe button. I try to do these weekly watch lists every single week to get everybody prepared for small caps, OTCs, or large caps. Also, if you would love to watch me live trading, I live trade every single day. You can actually see the weekly watch list right when I release it at 8:30 on Monday in the Simpler Trading Room under Stock Mavericks. There's a $7 monthly trial. I'm not sure how long that's going to last, but take advantage of it while you can. And also, there's a big sale going on for Black Friday on my short-term stock playbook. The short-term stock playbook is a course that I made that guides you through 4 hours of trading and training that I think gets you set up for any trading day to help you try to find consistency in the market. Like I said, 4 hours, great stuff. All types of lessons from beginners to advanced traders. But if you really are at the beginning part of your career and you're just trying to start up, this is a great place to get started. So check out that short-term stock playbook when it's on sale for Black Friday for the next week or two coming up. And I'd love to see you on the team in the Simpler Trading Room under Stock Mavericks. If not, hopefully you tag a bag off of one of these plays, and I'll see you back here next week. Good luck out there this week, and go get those bags. See you guys.